panelists, and I would very much like, you see, to have, we have a representative of two eminent ship owners who have already built, I must say, many vessels, including in China, so they have an experience of the good and maybe a bit more difficult times. So I would very much like to ask Michele Bottiglieri, who is president of Michele Bottiglieri Armatore, to speak about his experience in China during the various times he has been building vessels there.
Good morning, gentlemen. After what I heard from these gentlemen about what they said, I can say that with the Chinese shipyards, I had a good experience. I bought 5 ships in the last 2 years, and I can say that now the approach with them is completely changed, because now, as everybody knows, the market is not as before, and now they are really changing their mind also in the negotiations. For example, they are offering new model ships with eco speed and consumption, and also about the terms of payments and all this stuff. Of course, now the problem is that the overcapacity of these builders that is spoiling, I think, in the future the market. And then I also told them to reduce the capacity of the building of the fleet. Otherwise, the market, the shipping market, will be in very danger for many years. And but at this stage, the Chinese builders, they are not yet listening this new what is happening now. In China, it's very important to choose the name of the shipyards, because there are more than 1,000 shipyards, but the good ones are very, very few. I think there are no more than 50 shipyards. But I think that at the moment it's better don't order any ships at the moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michele, for this very clear, I would say, clear feelings and opinion about your experience. May I ask also to Umberto D'Amato, who has been the first, you see, Italian ship owner to go to China, to give his also position about China and how China can develop and maybe cope better with clients' needs?
Thank you, Didier. First of all, I wish to congratulate with the speakers, because their speeches have been very interesting indeed, very sharp and very precise. My personal experience in China started in 1997, when we signed, as you said, the first contract, being an Italian company. At that time we faced difficult times, because building ships under Italian flag, which at that time allowed only to have Rena class, was not easy with the yards, which had never got experience before. But in the end, we have been fighting hard. We have got difficult times, because negotiations in China, as also a speaker said, are not easy, are usually taking very long time, but we have got enough patience. So in the end, we won our battle. And I must also say that we have been passing through the first stage when we had to renegotiate the contracts in the year 2005 and 2006, when the market was moving. The contracts had been signed at a comparably low price with the subsequent raise in the market, so there was a large increase of costs for the yard in raw material, in manpower, in equipment. which we had to afford. In that case, we had to renegotiate the yard and increase of prices, especially in Korea. After that, we have been going through the present phase of a poor market, where we have been instead going through negotiation as underlined by Mr. Curtis, where we have been trying to find a very friendly approach with the yard, where we have been able to renegotiate at least the delivery time to extend at the maximum possible extent. But as also we spoke 1 year ago, we were in the same session, Didier, I wish also to underline the importance of the classification society, which must be regarded as a partner of both the shipyard and the owner. And it has been also underlined by Mr. Dardani, it is also sometimes called as an arbitrator in case of dispute between the owner and the yard itself in case of something going wrong during construction, which happens almost daily, I would say, not for big big matters where the owner can refuse or is trying to refuse or is trying to find any nice excuse, is appealing to class to try to have the ship price reduced because the ship has not been built at his satisfaction. But in most cases, in everyday life, in everyday inspection and supervision and test, there are so many times when the matter is on a borderline, where the class is called to give his own opinion. And I've also got a negative experience when there is also a conflict in that, because the classification societies at the time of signing the contract is paid by the yard. When the times are good, the yard is maybe allowing the owner to choose his own classification societies, but we have been going through times where the yard has been imposing classification societies, not even accepting as a second class a ship owner favorite classification societies company. So in this respect, I feel very hard for classification societies. The UDDA also underlined not all the aspects of shipbuilding are supervised by class. There are many items, coating for instance. Nowadays we have the PSPC standards for ballast tanks, but all the rest of the ship is just a matter between the owner and the yard. So again, having a good classification society supervising the ship throughout the whole process from the plan approval till delivery is of paramount importance. And again, I do hope that the yards will not be too much partners of the class. In this respect, I also wish to add that we had a very good experience with RINA, which has been always a part of those matters, although again, we have never got an experience of having a ship refused. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Umberto. I must say, we were expecting to have Mr. Luigi Minieri, who is the CEO of Tefin, and Antonio Palombo, who is the president of Cantieri Palombo, but unfortunately I believe they are not here. So consequently, I must say they cannot give their say, which is a bit a pity, for I must say we have also close to us some significant, and sometimes you see small companies, but nevertheless respectable, doing a very good service close to the clients. They are nevertheless small companies. Most of the time they are busy and they have to do also a lot of things by themselves. So I would like to thank them nevertheless for assisting the Italian ship owners. I must just say something to make an end. This was one of my questions, but by the way, Maurizio and Simon have answered about that. It is very important that building is followed, so which means that from the beginning up to the end, and we have seen this is better to go to the end. If we don't go, it's very difficult afterwards to have any legal rights to complain about. But it is very important that the ship owners are spending enough time, enough, I would say, investment in a team which is locally working, and I fully agree with the classification company to do the job of making the survey and the inspection and verification about the buildings. This is paramount. Like for a child, the father needs also to be involved. I always make the comparison between ship owner and fathers, and with shipyards and mothers. So the father has to be also involved if we want that the birth of the vessel is a good one and is done, you see, properly. So I believe that we have been on time. We have even won a lot of minutes, you see, for Francesco. So I thank you very much for your kind interest to what we have, I would say, presented to you this morning about shipbuilding. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Didier, and all speakers and panelists for this very interesting session, which regained a little bit of the time. We have got 40-45 minutes for lunch. We decided with the chairman of the two sessions, and it's very important that we are punctual because we have got a very interesting first speaker of the M&A session, who is Mr. Claudio Catabriga, who has a train at 3:30. So if we want to hear its very interesting presentation, we have to hurry up. The lunch is upstairs like last year. Weather is a little bit so, but I think the open air is so good and we are all sea men and women. Have a good lunch and a quick one.